Today.
Well, tonight we're going to be working on a five-piece set of drums. These shells happen to be North American rock maple. Right now I have in my hand is what we have is a rack tom, which is the diameter of this is 12 inches by 10 inches. And we're going to be applying a water-based stain, a couple of coats, and we're going to follow that up with some shellac and lacquer in the final process. And ultimately we'll wind up with a beautiful wood grain set of drums. So what we're going to do first is we have a little pad that I had put together prior, and we charged it up with a little bit of our stain. We'll wet it again slowly.
So a lot of these tools are these like custom tools that you come up with? And
yeah, the drum business is a crazy business. Most of the tools that you use cannot be purchased. You either have to find them from someone who was in the drum business at one time, or fabricate them.
Neat.
Like this little
that thing
roller system here. I mean, you don't buy this in Home Depot. This is something that you design, and
nice.
And it facilitates in rolling the drum, keep things moving nice and easy.
Beautiful.
So let's start putting some of the stain on our shell here. And again, we're going to move in the direction of the grain, making sure we cover all our spots. And before we put the stain on, because it's a dark stain, we kind of raise the grain of the wood by applying a small or very light water finish across the shell. This way the stain absorbs into the wood, it raises the grain a little bit, and it keeps the stain moving and stops you from getting streaks or blotches. And again, in this case, he said the client is looking for his shells to be just a little bit lighter in color than the wooden hoops that will be on his bass drums. So we just keep moving our pad and charging it back and forth on the shell, trying to keep that grain even at all times. Because the last thing we want to do is have an ugly line or blotch.
So that's pretty neat. You can actually mix, like you said, the drummer has the hoops are going to be different color, and you can really customize what you want it to look like.
Yeah, we could do a variety of stains. We could do sunbursts. We could do different blends of colors. We can mix virtually any color we need to mix. It's entirely up to the client. The variety of colors are limitless. Anything that you can think of, we can mix. And then these again are water-based dyes, which again are very forgiving. Unlike, like I said, lacquer and alcohol, which dries very quickly. So if you kind of make a mistake, which happens to all of us, you can always go back with a little bit of water and your pad and rub it right out and blend it right back in. These are the same stains and dyes that are used on guitars and a variety of other wooden instruments. So you can see how quickly it goes.
That's beautiful.
I mean, the stain is popping nicely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, what we don't want to do is cover up this beautiful grain that we have here. And these shells were picked especially for this stain because, again, the client said, I would really like to see some grain pop. So I picked these shells out. And again, now you can see the very nice grain in the maple. This is going to need a second coat for sure, but as you can see, it's a very rich color.
How long do you let it sit before the next?
About an hour or so. You want to make sure it dries. And then after it's done, what we'll do is the grain will raise because of the water-based dye. And we'll come back with a little bit of a quadruple aught steel wool.
Oh, yeah?
Bring it back down, and if we have to touch it up again, we'll little, and then we'll start the sealing process, which could be a lacquer, which could be a shellac, and the ultimate finish will be a lacquer when we're done, a satin lacquer in this case.
Right on.
So there's our tom. There's our rack tom. Very nice.